Welcome back to Taxes Made Simple. I'm your host, Karlton Dennis. Do you own a business and have a spouse who you're thinking about adding to your payroll? If so, look no further than this video. This video will go over exactly when you should consider adding your spouse to payroll. We're gonna break it down whether you should think about doing it, whether you shouldn't think about doing it, and whether there's an alternative strategy to actually help you save money without having your spouse on payroll. Let's get started. Guys, there are so many entrepreneurs out there who work hard to grow their businesses. And over time, as revenue increases, a lot of these people start adding staff. Many business owners reach a point where they want to involve their spouses to help them make more money, but are not sure what is the best way to incorporate their spouse into their businesses. You know, the goal of entrepreneurs is usually to optimize earnings for their spouse while reducing their tax obligation at the same time. If you're gonna add your spouse into your business, it should make sense. But it can be very tempting to just make spouses employees of your business, especially if your spouse is already helping you out, like doing bookkeeping or doing some of your billing. But the truth is that adding your spouse as an employee of your business can actually increase your taxes significantly instead of decreasing them. And so I want to make sure that we have some time to really talk about why this happens. Here are some downsides to hiring your spouse as an employee inside of your business. Number one, FICA taxes. The reason why adding your spouse to your business can increase your taxes is because once your spouse becomes an official employee, then you'll have to start paying them, which means you're gonna have to pay FICA taxes for him or her, which are federal payroll taxes for Social Security and Medicare. These taxes can get expensive to pay year in and year out, and they could be taxes that you weren't expecting to pay.
But here I come, the government, and I get to take 40% of your lunch.
Number two is state payroll taxes. In addition to paying federal taxes for Social Security and Medicare, you will also have to pay any relevant state payroll taxes as well. Guys, these taxes can vary significantly from state to state. So the specific state payroll taxes that you pay into depends heavily on which state you decide to live in and conduct business out of. Because of these additional taxes that you will have to pay if you employ your spouse, it might not necessarily be a good idea for you to hire him or her as an employee, even if you think that they will be an asset to your business. So if you do decide to hire your spouse, I do have some good news. There are some important benefits and advantages that you'll receive for doing so. It's not all bad, so let's talk about them. Number one, your spouse is now paying into Social Security and Medicare, and although it's taxed, it's still a benefit. Your spouse will be paying into the Social Security and Medicare programs, making them eligible to receive some of these benefits later on in the future. Social Security is a federal program that helps people to receive financial benefits and income security for retirement. It also can help you receive financial and security benefits for disability in certain circumstances when one spouse dies. Medicare, on the other hand, is a federal health insurance program for people over the age of 65 who have disabilities or who have certain conditions such as end-stage renal cancer. Okay, so if your spouse was not otherwise making contributions to these programs, then this is a significant pro to hiring them. They will get to receive some of these benefits later on in life. The amount of retirement benefits that your spouse receives from Social Security in the future is based on how much he or she contributes to Social Security during his or her working life. So the more he or she works, the more he or she pays into the Social Security and Medicare benefits that they'll receive later. Benefit number two is company health insurance. If your company provides health insurance coverage to its employees, it's also possible that you can save on money by having your spouse underneath your company's health insurance plan, as opposed to your spouse paying for her health or his health insurance as a dependent. So this is another way in which you can deduct health insurance for your spouse. Number three is travel deductions. Your spouse might also qualify for certain business travel deductions if he or she has to travel for business. I know that it was important for me to travel with my wife, so I added her underneath my business, and every time we travel together, it's a business traveling trip that we decide to take together as co-owners of our business. And that might be something that you're looking to do. Turn more of your lifestyle into a write-off. And who wouldn't want to travel with their spouse, the person that they're looking to spend the rest of their life with? So traveling is a very big bonus to having your wife or your spouse as an employee underneath your business. Number 4, retirement benefits. Your spouse may be eligible to qualify for certain retirement benefits if your company has a defined contribution retirement plan. You as a self-employed individual can establish a retirement account for your spouse, and now you'll be able to contribute money that you paid your spouse into your spouse's retirement plan. This is a big reason why many business owners hire their spouses, because sometimes their spouses are no longer working or left their prior job, so they don't have a form of retirement planning. Rather than not growing a retirement account for their spouse and not using the business's income to help do so, you can hire your spouse and place them on payroll and use the money that you paid them on payroll to grow their retirement funds. So that way you're not causing a big taxable event on the tax returns personally for you and your spouse. All right, this leads me to the 5th reason why it might be beneficial for you to have your spouse on payroll. Maybe you're trying to qualify for a home loan. This is a reason why many business owners will hire their spouses, is to report more income. It can be easy for you to qualify for a loan if you're showing more income, because now a lender sees that you're earning more and that you're paying into payroll taxes. If you're somebody that's looking to qualify for a loan, I definitely encourage you to speak with your lender to determine what type of amounts are they looking to see on the tax return to qualify you for the loan that you're looking for as a taxpayer. Sometimes it may not require you hiring your wife or placing them on payroll in order to qualify for the loan, but you might decide to make that decision to increase your wages to be able to qualify. So these are decisions that you can make as a business owner that could also impact your tax bill. We cannot forget about the last reason why it makes sense to hire a spouse. We're reducing the dependence on other contractors. It could be better to outsource work to your husband or your wife instead of a random contractor, because you will not have to worry about the issue of contractor trust if you do this. Are there any other options though, despite what we just discussed? Well, despite the fact that there are a number of benefits associated with hiring your spouse as an employee, the tax burden of this option can be extensive. Because of this, you might be wondering if there are any other options that can help you get your husband or your wife paid without having to give up an arm and a leg to Uncle Sam in taxes. There is, in fact, one other option that you can use in this circumstance to a great effect, and I want to make sure that I get a chance to explain it to you. This option is making your spouse a co-owner of the business. If your spouse is a co-owner of the business, then it will not be necessary for you to pay certain taxes for them, such as the payroll tax. Instead of paying your spouse a salary, which will force you both to show payroll wages, increasing your payroll tax, your spouse can take distributions from the business. This is possible because only one officer in a business is required to take a salary. So by making your spouse a co-owner, you can also make them a non-salaried officer of your company. So they get the same tax benefits of being able to write off things inside of the business, but then you don't, as a taxpayer, have to pay payroll taxes for having them underneath your business, leading to higher taxes. By taking this approach, you avoid the situation in which you increase your spouse's salary, leading to higher taxes. Many married couples take this approach in order to lower their taxes as much as possible, not increase their taxes, by getting the same benefits that they were looking for, being able to leverage family. I want you to be able to leverage family. I want you and your spouse, you and your wife, you and your husband to be able to travel together. I want you both to be able to say that you're both business owners, but I don't want you to increase your taxes at the same time. And sometimes placing your spouse on payroll may not be the best option. If you make them an employee, your taxes will be higher, but if you go down this path, your spouse will get to benefit from paying more into Social Security and Medicare, which could be benefits that you're looking for. Further, it could also be easier to obtain loans if that's something that you and your spouse are looking to do, but at the same time, if you're working with a tax strategist, you should be able to report the income you wish to report without paying high taxes at the exact same time. My name is Karlton Dennis. If you guys like this video today, I'd love for you to do something. Like, comment, subscribe. I love to make more videos like this for you guys. And if you have any questions on whether or not you should be hiring your spouse inside of your business, please feel free to visit the link below to schedule a complimentary tax strategy session with my team. We look forward to assisting you. I'll see you on the next video.